So I first met you on the phone 5 years ago when I was living in a caravan.
Yep.
10 minutes into business.
Yeah.
And you asked me like, how much are you turning over a month? And I don't know whether I said like $2,000 or 1,000 or something.
Yeah.
It was 700.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, politely come talk to me when you're making real money. You know?
Yeah.
And 5 years later, I'm making real money. You know?
Yeah, great. Well, it might have made sense if we had the With You program back then, because like the pitch that we do for With You, it's like it's always the same. It's like Brandon had to turn away 90% of the people that wanted to work with him. Yeah. Because I did the math. I was like, dude, you should fucking get us to do this. You shouldn't get anyone to do this for you. So With You would have maybe made sense for you back then. But yeah, it's always funny because we have people come through. It's like, yeah, you turned me away the first time, and then I found out about the With You program and stuff like that. But yeah, it's great to have you in now.
Yours is so your business model is so what's the word as a business owner who's built everything. You know, like it's me and my fiance. Yeah. Every part of the business you see, the systems, the procedures, a whole lot is like a brainchild of mine. Yeah. And what you create is the framework to continue being that. You know, the marketing hat of your business, but in a fucking supercharged way. Yeah,
100%. Because I always I think I mentioned it in the workshop like yesterday, day one, Aiden was filming reels with me and it's like, what's a marketing hill you'll die on? And I was like, the business owner is the best person to do the marketing, because they speak to the customer the most, they hear all the feedback, all of this stuff, they know the product the best. Yeah. And so if they can just take what's in my head about getting it like customers online and just put it into their head, they'll beat me every fucking day of the week. Every day of the week.
Do you think that everyone, I don't know, you're probably not going to want to answer this question.
That's right.
With everyone that's in the course today, and as an average of all the people you see in the courses, there must be a percentage that you go, stoked you're here, stoked you paid the money, this isn't going to work because you ain't it.
Yeah, absolutely. That happens because I always look at things based on numbers, right? And everyone in any program ever exists on a normally distributed bell curve. That means 50% of the people in the room today are going to get better results than the other 50% of the room. That also means there's at least one or two people that are just statistically speaking 2 standard deviations below median. They're probably fucking checking their emails, or they're just coming in with like, this isn't going to work for me mindset, and they just want to be right, but they don't want to get fucking rich, right? It's just that saying that I have from Jeremy Haynes, like, don't want to be right, just want to get rich, right?
I love that.
I just want to be right that this won't work for me. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck did you come here then, right? Yeah. And that's going to happen across this thing. There's a number of things that we do to try and shift the bell curve to the right. Like a lot of the framing that I do in the intro, I go, hey, here's what all the best people do.
I did notice that you're like, it's like the intro to the intro.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you like footnote, like, all right, if you actually want to be here, talk, communicate, be part of it, answer the questions.
Like under the advisory calls, use the support. Like if it wasn't obvious, I like talking about this shit. And yeah, like some other things as well. Like there was a couple of people in the room that said our automations rejected them the first time they applied. Yeah. Like we have one. Yeah, you saw it. We have one star Google review. Yeah, it's the only one that we have, and it's a dude that got rejected because he couldn't fucking read the landing page. It said service-based businesses only. Like it just doesn't work for e-commerce businesses. Yeah. And so like if you even get onto a like sales call, one of our reps, it's almost a fucking miracle. There's so many automations in place to try and make sure that the right person comes in. Yeah. Like for example, I'll tell you this one. You'll like this one. I didn't say this yesterday, but there's one question in our application. I had a theory back in, I think, December. And I had a theory that I could work out who would get the best results based on what statement they would select. Right. We internally, I came up with this strategy. I'm very proud of it. We use it. And I call it the red flag test. So there's a question in our application survey that says, which statement best describes your approach to learning and implementing new things for the business?
Wow, great question.
Options A and B were variations of, I know like things might not work immediately, but I'm happy to adjust along the way. Yeah. Options C and D were variations of, I'm going to get frustrated if this doesn't work immediately. We measured it for 3 months. On the marketing and sales end, the red flag tests, C and D, they had half the show rate and half the close rate of the green flags, A and B options. Number of reasons that could be, they're just less committed, things like that. They're just like, oh, I made a booking, but who fucking cares, right? So they're less committed. So it means even if there's something in a calendar, they probably won't rock up to it. On the sales side, it means that they're less likely to take action, right? And the way you do something is the way you do everything else,
Dude, I was going to follow this up with that saying.
Yeah, 100%.
That
Right?
red flag, those same people don't wipe their ass properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it's consistent.
Yep.
It's consistent across the board.
Yep. And then whenever we get a member in the community that's like, I don't know, like it didn't work the first time and they're immediately frustrated, we check the CRM system, red flag next to the emoji. So now in our marketing and sales process, if you, I mean, if you're watching this, you're going to fucking select the right answer now, but it doesn't even let you book.
Yeah.
In fact, if you somehow get through and book, it cancels your booking.
It's so interesting. Your business must get more exciting the longer you do it because you get more data points.
Oh my God, yeah.
Then you can start cross-correlating all of these things.
Yeah, because we measured that for like 3 months, and then me and Tim, who you just met, we just pulled out all the data and went, oh, the red flags have half the show rate, half the close rate. That's an easy math equation. They're 75% less likely to buy.
Your mind is just A and B, hey. So if you go this route, this happens. If you go this route, this happens. And then the older you get, the more A and Bs you get off that.
Yeah, I do a lot of math in my head a lot. It's usually multiplication.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned this book, I think the morning yesterday, Bayesian Statistics the Fun Way. It's it's just teaches statistics of the little rubber ducks.
Yeah.
And so if you can use models like that to like predict human behavior. So like if you want to calculate the chances of this happening and this happening, then you just multiply the two chances together and stuff like that. And then you can kind of get really good at predicting the future.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you, all right, I got two sides of this question. Sure. What's your top 3 books, top 3 reads
that's a great
for
question.
development?
For development, my number 1 would be Principles by Ray Dalio.
Okay.
My favorite chapter is the first one because I think it's embrace reality and deal with it, or accept reality and deal with it.
Nice.
So first one. Second one, Reality Transurfing.
Oh, yeah.
By Vadim Zealand.
I've seen that. I've never...
Dense read.
Yeah.
He's passed away. I wanted to meet him. He was on my list of people I wanted to meet. Third one. I think it's the ideas from Psycho-Cybernetics about how...
Dude.
Yeah.
That's my number 2, Psycho-Cybernetics.
Yeah.
That's like every 3 years refresh.
Yeah.
Like Think and Grow Rich every year.
Yeah.
Psycho-Cybernetics every 3 years.
Yeah, I like that with Principles. Like I've had fucking 4 or 5 different copies of Principles by Ray Dalio because whenever a mate's in a tough spot, I give it to him and I gotta fucking get another one.
100%. Are you religious?
I'm not. Well, I was baptized and confirmed Catholic because my mother is Catholic. So I went to Trinity, all boys Catholic school.
Yeah.
But I'm not a practicing Catholic at all, no.
Right. And you're an only child?
Only child, if it wasn't obvious.
Yeah, me and you both, brother. Yeah. I spot you from a distance. You know how to play Monopoly with yourself, right?
yeah. Bro, I remember...
I always win.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played Monopoly, it was with my parents. We were on like a vacation and the place we were staying at had like a bunch of board games. We had Monopoly. Played Monopoly for the first time. Bro, that awakened something inside me. Hey, like that opened the capitalist pig inside me. I was like, bro, so I for a period of time I was volunteering. There's a charity called the Smith Family Foundation, and this for children's education. And so on Wednesday afternoons, I was going to a primary school and helping with their learning club thing. And one of the things, like, you just play math games with them and stuff like that. And one of the things we were doing was I was supposed to volunteer, and the student or the volunteer coordinator was like, all right, next week we're gonna play math games. Like, who wants to play Monopoly? And I went,
you're doing these ones?
I'm like, I'm gonna ruin this kid's life. You're gonna have a career-ending event in fucking third grade.
Career starting.
Yeah, bro, I posted a reel about it. I was like, you have no idea. I'll bend the rules, not just so I win, but so that you lose for longer. Yeah. Like, I'll let you open up a line of credit with me and just decimate you with like 22.5% interest rates.
You're like, it's an hourly compound as well.
Yeah. Welcome to compound interest, kid.
Dude. How old are you?
I'm 29. Turned 30 this year in November.
All right. So
how old are you?
32 nice. At the end of the year.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Because like obviously, it's funny. Yesterday when you asked the class, like, does anyone know my last name? I'm like, I know a significant amount of it. Only because like the cool thing about your course is everybody in that room, or a high percentage of them, we're all the same. We're all problem solvers, critical thinkers. We all take our shit serious enough to be there. You know, and the thing that I still kind of don't grab entirely about your position is, so are you further down the track, and your business is making us feel like that, right? So, like in a way, you're fascinating because you're relatable. You live in WA, you live in Perth, you're 2 hours up the road from me, and like you're doing it.
Yeah,
you're doing it. You got an office on Adelaide Terrace. You know what I mean? Like I'm making t-shirt prints at home, and people in Bunbury are like, "Oh, Jake's doing it." Like, fuck, I'm barely scratching the surface.
Well, bro, I feel the same way. Like about because you're always like, what? Oh, there's a comparison is the thief of joy. That's the quote I was trying to remember because like I felt the same way when I was doing like 10 or 20K a month. I'd look at other agencies doing like 50K a month. Yeah. And I'm like, man, like how the fuck are they doing that? But you always want to try and stay a small fish in a much larger pond. So like the coaching programs that I'm in, I'm like, dude, am I retarded? Because like I'm in Jeremy Haynes' inner circle and his whole goal is people doing $1 million months. There's people I'm in fucking Telegram group chats who are doing like $2.5 million a month. Yeah. And here I am with my fucking $500,000 a month. It's like, who fucking cares? Like you always want to be the smaller fish in the big pond. So as soon as you're...
That's also rising by, what's that O word? Osmosis?
Osmosis.
You're being pulled up because, you know, like I'm an ex-speed skater, professional speed skater.
Oh, sick.
The way to get quicker is train with guys quicker than you.
Yep, that's exactly
always
it.
Chasing them, then you're in their group, then who do they chase?
Yeah,
you know?
It's always like just what's the whole net worth effect, and then also just like whatever environment you're with, the top 5 people you hang out with the most. Like I posted once on, because I think, you know, like I'm a massive cigar connoisseur, and I joined Devlin's in Subiaco. Shout out to Simon, which is like a cigar club. And I remember when I went there because I got into smoking like 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. And I went there and I was like, well, how old was I? Like 27. Everyone there is just a like old rich guy. Yeah. And I remember like I got invited because you had to like get invited by a member, and then 3 people had to vouch for you. And I was like, having
a bikie club or something. That's unreal.
Everyone's like super polite, even though they've got like millions just in their fucking bank account. And then I'm having a conversation with some guy that's like installing solar panels for like a prince in Dubai or something like that.
Awesome.
And then I was just like, what the hell? I was like, is this the Illuminati? And then having a chat with someone else, and he's like, oh, would you like a drink of whiskey, Brandon? I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to have one. As he's pouring it, he's like saying, yeah, I got it on auction for $4,000. Like I was like, and I'm like calculating how many meals. I'm like, do I fucking net bank you for this? Yeah. But just like being in that environment, otherwise like you'll just be a little goldfish in your little, what are they called? Goldfish tank things.
Yeah, bumping your head on the glass.
And you just bump your head on the glass and you don't see like a much bigger world. And so just merely being exposed to it, I mean, I'm using the money example, but it could be physical fitness example. Just being around people to go, oh, they're doing that, then it's possible. I'll give you a perfect example. Sorry, this is a long answer to that question, but I'll give you a perfect example. So I did a bodybuilding competition in 2022. I don't know if you can tell because I have my sleeves on. I'm not a bodybuilder. Right. I entered with 18 weeks notice. I was 20% body fat and I was like, fuck all muscle. And I entered, and then in week 3 or 4, I was at the gym training late at night because I had to train like 17 hours a fucking week. I was on like 4 different steroids and eating like nothing.
Yeah.
And so I'm at the gym and there's a guy there that's like practicing his posing in the mirror. And he's far further ahead than I am. And we just ended up chatting because there's no one else in the gym. And I said, oh yeah, I'm in the IFBB comp in like 4 weeks. And he just immediately went, what? You're not ready for that? Like, I'm not ready for that. And then he just let his own perceptions of what was possible stop him from competing. Anyone could compete. I fucking competed.
Wow.
Right? And then it really bothered me because he was like trying to talk me out of doing it. I'm like, no, but I want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Right. And then I went to, I think that weekend, I went to the posing, they do like, because bodybuilders are like fucking posing and shit. Went to the posing classes and was chatting with the guys there, all way fucking bigger than me. And they were like, chatting with me. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing first timers, classic physique. And I was like, I just in passing said, yeah, I was 20% body fat when I entered 18 weeks ago. They all went, what? And I was like, yeah, I was 20% body fat when I entered 18 weeks ago. They're like, dude, if we had that notice, we'd be like minimum 10% body fat. And I went, huh? And I was like, I just didn't know that was unreasonable. So I just did it anyway. Crazy. So in my head, I was like, oh, you just had to do all these steroids, train 17 hours a week and eat 1,400 calories. Oh, okay, I'll just do that. Yeah. Just because I didn't know any better.
Yeah, also, I feel like, so Black Ink was originally a coffee van, like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember our conversation.
Right. Made T-shirts. People like the T-shirt. Sold the van.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a hiatus driving road trains and shit. Came back. Started the brand. Realized that I had to make my own shit if I'm going to make money.
Yeah.
Posting 3 times a day, every day on Instagram for like 3 years. Everyone knew that I was printing shirts, and then I got everyone else's shirts, and then that turned into uniforms and the birth of Outfit Co.
Sick.
And I remember right at the start, one of my customers, when I started doing T-shirts, he's like, "You should print your own shirts."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Fuck no, I'm not a T-shirt. I wouldn't even know. Like, stupid. Let me keep making 200 cups a day. That's easier.
Yeah,
you know, because I know this.
Yeah, I know this. Yeah.
And then like fast forward to now, and I have a $50,000 printer. I've got not a purpose built, but on its way to being purpose built. You know, studio.
Yeah.
I've just built a program so we can automate all of our back end. Now I'm learning marketing, doing all these things.
Yeah.
And you realize that it's actually not that complicated. It's a bunch of simple steps in a row.
And then you get in your own way.
Yeah, 100%.
100%, bro. So I was doing this with, I was on a call with Jeremy. So Jeremy, like, I attribute pretty much most of my like recent like massive growth to, because he just helped unlock so many just like different things for me. But mostly under advertising. But mostly what Jeremy was doing for me was just talking me out of my own way.
Yeah.
So like I remember one of our calls, because I got one-on-one part of his program, he got one-on-one calls with him, and I came onto the call, and he's like, so I kind of knew what he was gonna ask me, so I was kind of dancing around these other numbers, like, yeah, things are going well, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, cool, how much did you make this month? I was like, 250K. He's like, how much did you make last month? I was like, 250K. He's like, so you made the same as last month, Brandon.
Yeah.
I was like,
you got a ceiling.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah. He's like, do you know how to fucking grow this business? Like, is there something stopping you? I was like, well, no, like maybe it's this. And he's like, okay, like, has that happened yet? I'm like, no. He's like, so okay, so that's not an excuse. He's like, okay, do you know how to do this? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, what is it? Tell me. I'm like, get sales reps, fill their calendar. He's like, okay, cool. What are you going to do today? I'm like, I'm going to get a sales rep and fill a calendar. And I had Tiffany that day. And then we went to like 350K.
So what's the thing you've learnt most recently?
Oh, good one. If I want to pick one, I would say, actually, this is a good one. I was training with my coach, and one of his, I suppose, clients came up, and she had this little journal where she was getting life advice from people. And I never met her. She's like, oh, do you want to do one? Zach's like, oh, Brandon's got it. We'll always have a good one. The one I wrote into hers was, every single morning you should write down the thing that you're avoiding, because that's where the work is.
Yeah.
So for example,
usually it doesn't take that long either.
Yeah, it usually doesn't take that long either, but it's something that you're kind of like pushing away. So for me, like a year or two ago, it would have been like finance. Like I just didn't like looking at finance and stuff like that. But that was where all the work was. I was comfortable in marketing and sales. That was my thing.
Yeah.
But it could be the same thing with anything else. Like for example, so I think you know, like I quit drinking 7 or 8 weeks ago. Something like that. I used to be a heavy drinker. Like,
dude, I'm fucking 4 months sober as well.
Oh, sick. Nice one, bro. But I was like a heavy drinker. I would drink like heavily, like 4 or 5 nights a week. I'm actually hungover in like most of my ads. Actually, all of them, except for the Sydney ones. So all the ads you would have seen for like the last like half decade, I'm hungover in like all of them. But the advice I gave myself was, okay, if you were someone else and you're giving yourself advice, what would you say? And I said, I would just tell you to get a coach. Because whenever you get a coach, you have more energy into it, you're invested into it, so you want to see it do well. Like, you know how to stop drinking, but you need to like commit to doing it and invest in it essentially, and point energy towards it. And I actually emailed Conrad. No, I didn't email him. I booked a call with Conrad. Conrad's actually a With You member. He's an addiction coach.
Unreal.
And he was in the Melbourne workshop in February or March.
Yeah.
And it was funny because when I went to go book the call, 8 times and backed out 7.
Yeah.
Because I was uncomfortable. Like I didn't want to admit, because like booking it was like admitting that I had a drinking addiction problem, right? And then, but then I was like, I kept opening the tab, then closing the tab, then putting my details in, then closing the tab, and I was like, okay, well, you're uncomfortable with this, so this is where the work is. So I was like, fuck, and I pressed submit.
Dude, that's funny. He would have been like, so what's the thing that records your screen? Is like, I'm seeing that you've gone to fucking like, you taught,
Yeah,
you taught him how to do it.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you got a problem?
But Conrad's been great. But
dude, your access to industry is nuts because you have people from every industry coming to you to fucking. Dude, everybody needs uniforms.
Yeah,
I tweaked onto this. I'm like, I'm in a business where fucking everyone needs me.
Yeah,
if you don't need me for a uniform, you need me for a shirt for your bullshit weekend idea, whatever it is.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
in the same position.
Isaac, he's an men's online fitness coach. He's in the program. Yeah, he was posting in school the other day looking for a plumber in Brisbane. I think like 2 people replied to him and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's one of the kind of the fringe benefits. Like Regan Crook is he owns Ramp Auto Group and he's my mechanic. Yeah. It was funny when I got the Supra I don't know, early last year. And I was on the advisory call with him and I was looking at his Google Ads keywords.
Yeah.
And I saw like car tuning. I was like, wait, Regan, you do car tuning, don't you? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, and BMW is like Supra is basically a BMW, isn't it? He's like, yeah, bro, you got a BMW. I was like, I'm going to email you after this. Yeah. And then we did like a stage 2 to my car.
I feel like everyone in the course should get at least one lead from in the room. Like I've already got one.
Yeah. We've had so many people just get leads from the room and stuff like that. I think, you got one yesterday. Oh, yeah, I want to fucking get Chapatizer shirts.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But I think I'm also, like, my businesses, and you know this purely because of the fact I'm in the class, like, I can walk in anywhere and sell anyone because I'm, A, good at sales, and B, have something that most people want.
Yeah.
But it's like, now it's at that point where it's like, all right, I got real sick like 7 weeks ago. And my Lebanese friend said, hey, I'm getting married in Beirut. It's in 2 months' time. Everyone's invited. I'm like, I'm not fucking going to Beirut. I'm not going to Beirut. He's one of my really good friends, though, and I like to justify to myself that I had a good enough reason not to go outside of World War III was I'm going to really like balls to the wall, fucking just lock in for a month.
Yeah.
And I got like my mum, bookkeeper, my fiance in production. Got this big 3-meter whiteboard in my office.
Yeah.
I said, right, we're doing 20 grand a month. I'm going to do 100 grand a month.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
Can we do it? Well, physically we can do it. The bottleneck was our processing of orders. So I was like, all right, we need to build a system.
Yep.
So just swam through shit for 6 weeks and built a system.
Yep.
Then it, like halfway through that, it occurred to me, I'm like, all right, you've got a system, but you don't have any more leads.
Yep.
You can pound the payment, cold call, do whatever you want. And it's like, I've had in the back of my mind, fucking where you for 5 years. I'm like, and it's as if, you know, somehow your marketing picks up on what I'm thinking as well. And I literally was like, taking a shit, scrolling. Yeah. Of course, I'm doing, I don't know. You pop up. I didn't even, like, 1 second, book. Yeah. Pass the video, you know, survey, bang. And I then went back to watch the 19-minute VSL. And I think I got 10 minutes into that, started doing a print. Jake calls me.
Oh, yeah, Jake.
I didn't have 4.5 grand. You know what I mean? I was like, call me back tomorrow. I need to go find 4.5 grand. Found 4.5 grand and then fucking did the thing. So, yeah, it's like now we've got this system. It's like, well, let's just build in a lead generating machine. Yep. You know, and I think a lot of people, like you talk to them in Bunbury, because I'm not trying to sell everywhere. I'm just trying to sell Bunbury. Yeah, yeah. Just want to sell Bunbury. Yep. There's $100 million in uniforms over the next 10 years in Bunbury. Yeah. You know? So I was like, I know that all I have to do is appear in front of people and this will basically work, but let's supercharge it. Yeah, yeah. Let's get the copy right. Let's get the ads right. Let's fucking...
100%. It's like everyone's always either got like a front end problem or a back end problem in their business. I think it has to do with personality types. So I've always been a very good drive growth, I hate the word, but entrepreneur. So I'm good at marketing, sales, and product. I'll just like let it rip and then just like grow it really quickly. But then like the back end processes will start breaking and stuff like that. Yeah, like for example, like we never even, until we were in Thailand with the team like 3 weeks ago, we never even had a system in place to really properly track like whose memberships were expiring. Oh. So like I had members like come up to me and stuff. They're like, bro, I don't know if I should tell you or not, but like, you know how like you get 6 months of support? I've been here for like 12. Like, do I have to pay someone? I was like, oh yeah, just fucking email Tim or something like that. But now we've actually got a thing where we can see where everyone's like, things expire. There's like a continuity offer. Yeah.
A business, like in a physical metaphor, is like a house that you build on the shittest extensions until you can afford a mansion.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I like that.
You just like, you're in a stick hut to begin with, and then all of a sudden you'll add like a concrete pad out the back and then brick half of this and then put a weird, like it's honestly,
Everything's really scrappy.
Yeah.
And then
And
you're like, I
everyone's
got more
looking from the
materials.
outside going like, he's got it figured out. Like, I'm a fucking idiot. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
One strong wind and this will all come down.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Just one fucking bad statement gone wrong. I was like, ah.
Dude, I went to Japan, like friends group went to Japan earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, couldn't afford it when they came up with the idea this time last year.
Yeah.
I was like, had a bass due and I called up the ATM. I'm like, can I just put this off? They're like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And then like just paid that when the next one came in. Like, can I put this off? And I've only just caught up from a holiday that was fucking 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's about to hit again.
Oh, dude, bro, I'll bet yours. This time last year, I was $250,000 in debt to the ATO.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was trying to grow like the done for you arm of the business, but like my wages to revenue, like I just, again, like I'm very drive growth. I was just hiring too many people. And so like my accountant was like, dude, your wages to revenue ratio is like 0.6 or 0.7. It's like, yeah, you know what wages to revenue is. Like 70% of my, 60 to 70% of my expenses was just like, all revenue was going straight to wages. And I was like,
to hire fairly switched on people though.
yeah, exactly, right. And then it like the with you pitch is exactly right. It's like you either the ad specialists are like well paid because they're onshore and talented and experienced, but you got to pay 3 times fucking more to get them. Yeah. Or it's like my fucking cousin Manila does it for $3 an hour and you don't make any fucking don't get any results, right?
Yeah.
And then, but anyway, like playing down the negligence tax, I was talking to my accountant, like wages to revenue ratio, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, each team member should be responsible for like 3 times their wages and revenue. And I went, oh. I was like, I've made a mistake.
Are you paying on a yearly or a base plus commission?
No, so ad specialists are a salary.
Okay.
Yeah. And then sales reps are commissions only. But we only had like...
right.
Yeah. So the ad specialists were like responsible for like 1.5 times their fucking salary. And then after like, you know, all the other expenses and stuff like that in the P&L statement, we're just like either breaking even or just like losing money every month.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So a lot of turnover, but just, I think you sort of have to get a lot of turnover and then review and tweak.
Well, ideally you wouldn't have to. Ideally you get it right the first time.
Yeah.
But learning that for me was certainly like the sting of that was like, oh, okay, well now you know what wages to revenue ratio is. Like I know what CTR, conversion rate, CFO, I know all of this shit. Like I was really good at driving revenue, but managing expenses has always just been my thing. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah, and also when you need something, you need something.
Yeah, exactly right. And I was just like hiring too many people. There were a lot of like redundant processes and like things that we were doing. Like we had a team member leave and he was like my 2IC. And when he left, I was like, we met and we wrote down all the things he does. And I looked at the list. I was like, I'm going to try not doing any of this for like 6 months and see what happens. Yeah. And we became profitable.
What's the so one wage can be your profit margin?
Well, yeah, it's just like, and then just doing stuff. I'm like, I went through like our onboarding process, and I was just like, why the fuck are they? What? And then I just like simplified it down heaps, and I was like, oh, this is way better. Like there was just a lot of like bloated systems and processes, and that's my fault because I wasn't putting my eye on it and paying attention to it. I was just like, the other thing as well was I was actually the call I was on just beforehand was I was talking to one of my coaches, Rhett Coots, about how like now I actually really like the business, and he's like, yeah, dude, because like your head's in it and your heart's in it as well, and you have that alignment, and so that's why I find flow in the workshops really easily. I've just never really particularly liked systems and processes and things like that, and so that was one of the things I was just always avoiding, and so because I avoided it, I just gave it to someone else that didn't see the full picture.
And also wasn't as invested, like solely invested in how the success of it happened.
Yeah, or even just like literally financially invested in it.
Yeah, true. Dude, I yesterday when you said, all right, we're going to stop for lunch, I'm like, this motherfucker just speed ran for 5 hours.
Yeah. Like, I could go all day. I love talking about this shit.
Yeah, I feel like, and also, I mean, ask me a question about uniforms, I'll fucking
exactly
send you
right.
to sleep, you know? Like, it's ridiculous. I was wondering, so like one thing I find fairly consistent among like business owners and people who take their life seriously is they usually have some sort of routine or structure, and typically it's around their morning.
Yep.
And also, answer that. What's your morning look like on an average day?
So I wake up at 4:45 a.m. My Whoop band will just start vibrating. So I wake up, have my pre-workout, play with my cats a little bit, joke around with my girlfriend, and then I train in the morning. It's either at the moment at Kick-Ass MMA or the Barn. I'll usually do MMA in the morning with Zach. And then I come home. My cousin's my assistant and like housekeeper, so she'll cook breakfast. I have the same breakfast every single day. It's either like scrambled eggs and spinach and avocado, or it's a smoothie that my coach gives. I don't know what's in it, but he gives the ingredients. And I come here, I work. I work pretty just head down. Like there's a lot of meetings, like Zoom calls at least anyway, coaching calls, stuff like that. I have lunch in about like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'll work until 4. And then I'll go to the gym again. I'll get home at 6:30. I have dinner with like my girlfriend and my cats. We watch Feminine Brain Rot, which is my way of saying we watch Married at First Sight. And then I go to bed at like 8.
Poor soul.
Which like I like it because it makes my problems feel important.
Dude,
when they tell me their problems.
You like it because you're in. I get 5 minutes in, I'm like, I'm going to smash the TV. And I'm not going to allow you to watch this shit anymore.
Yeah, at first I was like, fuck this thing. And then I was just like, man, I feel useful compared to these people. But anyway, but at the moment, I don't think you know, but like we got because this lease expires in September. So we got a massive office with a warehouse space as well.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm building a bat cave in there. So me and my trainer, we're building like a gym and all that stuff in there.
You got like mats and shit.
Yeah, we got like wrestling mats with the Batman logo on them. But what that means is that cuts out 37 hours of travel time a month for me.
Yeah. Because
I've got to travel 20 minutes to and then 20 minutes back from these 2 different gyms twice a day. That's 80 minutes a week. Multiply that. It's like basically a full working week. So now, in 2 or 3 weeks' time, once we get the keys and build it, I can just go to the one place at 5 a.m. and then just leave. Are
you leasing it?
Yeah, leasing a 2-year lease in Osborne Park.
Right. And what's is your future ambition to own commercial property?
Probably not. Like I've learnt my lesson enough to know that like my thing is education and coaching.
Yeah.
I just stay in my lane.
So interesting, man. Like obviously I've got a network of business owners in Bunbury in all different levels as well. Like you've got the morning walks that you go on that you're kind of adding value, never really taking value. I've got like mastermind groups. I've got people that like my mentors that I go and spend time with and other people that come and spend time with me sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's this real saturation of this idea that now I'm making money, I've got to spend it on other stuff. It's like, keep growing the business that you made.
Yeah,
keep investing in you. Like that will pay off. It's just like, I'm trying to put money over here and let that grow and that grow. It's like, dude, just get really fucking good at what you do. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think the commercial property is especially in Bunbury, because the narrative is everyone who's made it, it's in property.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, but it's actually not how they made their money. It's how they kept it. Like they just held their money in that thing.
Yeah. Obviously, so you can always keep fucking rolling it forward type thing.
Yeah, 100%.
What's your idea? What's your thoughts around like manifestation? And
I've always had like wavering opinions about it. Like in the past, if you asked me 2 years ago, I'd say like, no, maybe it's just like pure coincidence. But the way that I view it now is, I was also just talking about that with Rhett on that call before, was actually just intentions. Like when you set that intention, or you can call it manifestation, they're essentially, I suppose they're synonyms of each other. But when you set the intention, you're putting your focus and your energy on something. Like if you just constantly think about it all the time, you're constantly going to behave and act in little ways over 1% over time will just move you directionally accurate. It's similar to, you know, when you play Punch Buggy, is it like Punch Buggy in the like, it's like Punch Buggy Red or something like that?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it's like red Toyota Camry or something like that. All of a sudden you just start seeing red Toyota Camrys all the time.
Yeah, the red
because
car
you set
theory.
that intention to see it in the first time. So I think the answer is somewhere in the cross section of those two.
Yeah, I think manifestation in general is the practice set you give to someone who doesn't have any of what you're just talking about. You know, because I find that like a lot of people, like, you know, you talk to people who've got side hustles. Nothing pisses me off more than a side hustle, because I'm making, like, we'll just use round numbers. I'm making $2,000 a week at my job, and then on the weekends I do this thing. I could never quit my job until this thing makes $2,000 a week. It's like, how the fuck, if I could make $2,000 in 2 days a week, I would just do that as well, dickhead.
Yeah, exactly.
If you give yourself back your 50 hours a week, you will find a way to make $2,000 a week in the thing that you're side hustling. As long as you don't skip from side hustle to side hustle.
Exactly.
And that in itself is the answer.
Yeah.
You know, like when I hung up the call with Jake and I was like, I've got to find $4,500. Do you know what I didn't stop thinking about?
Yeah, $4,500.
And the crazy thing is, it's the same, going back what we were talking about before. Once I go, all right, we're doing 20K, I want to do 100K.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter
You
whether
start
you say
thinking of-
30, 40, 50, 100.
Yeah.
You start going, well, okay, so now I'm thinking about what does 100K look like physically? What are the
Yeah.
jobs? Do we have the space?
Yeah.
You know, and also I had 2 printers this time last month. Now I have 1 printer because
Yeah.
we don't do vinyl anymore.
Yeah.
We had 4 mismatched tables, like heights. Now I've got 1 6.5 meter solid bench.
Yeah, nice.
We had 2 heat presses. I bought another heat press, and now we have, or joules. Now we have 4 platens.
Yeah.
So it's like all these things where it's like if you keep thinking about $20,000 problems, the ceiling is getting heavier and heavier and heavier.
Yeah.
And one day you're going to hit your head and go like, well, why didn't I ever aim for more?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it reminds me of like, we would always with a team do, because With You was growing really, really quickly. We had to change shit like literally every single Monday, like how we deliver things, how many advisory calls there were, how many breakout rooms there were and stuff like that. And we were having conversations like With You used to be just like 12 people in a room, tops.
Yeah.
And then we were like, all right, if we had to put 50 people in a room at once, what does that look like? And the immediate reaction is like, that can't be done. We haven't done that before. I'm like, no, but if we had to do that.
Yeah.
And then you start thinking in interesting ways. Like, okay, well now it seems possible. Doesn't it? All right, so now the conversations we're having, like, all right, if we had to do 100 people in a room, what does that look like? And now they're like, okay, well, we got to 50. So you just start thinking in other ways. And so I like doing interesting thought experiments where it's like constraints. So it's like, if we had to do it, and we had to do it with the resources we have, like how would we do it? You start coming up with all these creative ways.
Yeah. Yeah, well, following up from the whole manifestation thing, my routine changes, my morning routine changes probably once a quarter.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a fan of novelty.
Yeah, I am as well.
Move your room around, it makes you feel like you're a new man.
Yeah.
And most recently I've gone from sort of reflecting at the end of the day to projecting at the start of the day.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'll wake up and I've just got it ingrained now. First thing I do is it used to be essentially prayer. Now it's just like I wake up and I go straight to what am I thankful for. And I just, even if it's like, why you're just starting to mope around, it's like, I'm thankful, warm bed.
Yeah.
My body works.
Yeah, that's good.
I can see, I can taste, it's all good. Now I'm going straight into, all right, what's the ideal outcome of anything?
Yeah.
You know, it's like being old and healthy.
Yeah.
It's my business turning over 100K. It's a perfect print day. I go out there, the printer just, there's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful. There's fucking beautiful smell in the air. It's warm because we're built in, all these things. And I write it. And then you got a desktop timer?
No, I don't. I wanted to get one of those.
Dude, hormosy shit.
I want to get a sand timer.
Yeah. So now I just put in 15 minutes and I just fucking zone out, black out and get into it to a point of like, you practice it. You literally see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've read Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah.
So it's essentially the imaginary conversation with your perfect mastermind group. You can imagine anyone, you know, Tesla, Henry Ford, Jesus, your dad, all these people.
Perfect mastermind.
And the fucking, like, you imagine what they would potentially say. And that, they're telling you that.
Yeah.
You know, this is the same as like, all right, if you were someone else giving you advice, what advice would you give you? It's the same
exactly.
shit.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to try that exercise. That reminds me of like the other day I was doing kickboxing with Zach and I was fucked. And then I was trying to do the same gratitude thing to get through it. But all right, well, you're tired, but you have both legs and you can kick. This is great.
Yeah. And also, the fact that you're tired now will help you appreciate not being tired too.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's like that joke. It's like, I don't think people like ice baths. I think people like getting out of ice baths.
Yeah, exactly. So you're obviously very Hormozy-esque.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you probably grew up on Rogan.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I was mostly like most of my podcasts were like Rogan. What's Jocko's one? I haven't listened to it in a while, but Jocko's podcast.
Yeah.
And Huberman.
Yeah, Huberman's fun.
Yeah, the holy trinity, all three of those.
Yeah, dude. I feel like you got to be in a mood to listen to Hormozy.
Yeah, I'm kind of
75% speed.
Yeah, I'm kind of off it a little bit now, but I'm also just not watching I don't have a whole lot of time to watch YouTube too much. I might when I'm like driving or in the gym or something like that.
Yeah,
just listen to it in the background.
Yeah, I feel like it's fucking driving is the best for podcasts because it's like halfway between actually listening and just brain absorbing.
Yeah, something I tried to do when I'm driving as well was just drive in silence.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just like a nice
like a real fucking just hooker killer. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, just like real sides. Just like
windows up, heater on, just
just so it's like real quiet. But yeah, that's one of my resets. I'll just go on for walks without music as well. Yeah.
Wild. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, because it just got constant noise and signal.
You're also like surrounded by fucking Wi-Fi here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you know, this is a very like I see you got the oxygen canisters and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like I imagine this is almost an addictive presence in here.
I don't think so. I'm excited to have the warehouse though, just because there'll be so much space for sure. Like, there's no windows that open here, which bothers me.
Yeah, true.
Whereas the warehouse will be just a big open space. You could open the garage door and stuff like that. So I'm very excited to have like really optimize that environment, because this just feels, I don't feel energized by this space. It's very corporate.
There's no feng shui in here.
No, there's not.
Like, there's no real like obvious.
It's not particularly inspirational. That's my bone to pick with this place. I'm excited to tailor the new place, so it's exciting.
Dude, Scott Miller and I went deep on this in our 4-hour chat the other night, where like everything that's being built now is a glass box. Everything can be transformed into a data center if people fuck off. You know?
This room actually used to be a data center. Those railings on the floor. They were for servers and shit.
How do you, like, one of the big sort of indicators of my like moving forward was getting new furniture all the time. Have you gone through like a massive furniture like acquiring throughout your time?
Not too much. Hey, like I'm man, I don't like changing too much. Like our apartment's getting a little bit small for what it is now, especially with like the 2 cats. And I started looking at like new bigger apartments, but I was just like, man, I can't be fucked going through this process of like moving and stuff like that. So I'm pretty much like, once I got something set up, I'll just fucking leave it. Yeah.
What's we got 15.
Yep.
What's your I feel like this has gone from a podcast to an interview, eh? This is like a 30 under 30 fucking questionnaire. With like, so I'm at a point at the moment where I can like afford like a new pair of shoes every 6 months.
Yep.
You know, it's nice. It's cool. Obviously, like some people have, do you know Jason Shipway?
I know that name.
Enhanced Cleaning?
Yeah, I think I know the name Shipway.
So he's got like an Audi R8.
Yeah.
Hangs out with the rich youth of Perth. He's 21, 22. He's been on Sunrise and The Project and for cleaning.
Yeah.
So he had a super accelerated, you say super accelerated, he's been hustling since he was 17.
Yeah.
You know, pounding pavement, pamphlets, cleaning houses, still cleans houses to this day.
Yep.
And he was buying multiple pairs of shoes quite early.
Yeah.
You know, and like I've been when I first called you, I was in a caravan. Now we're like bought a house.
Yeah,
a bit more comfortable. What's the feeling? I'm guessing you're a few steps above that or beyond that. What's that feeling? And is there still the same hunger from?
There's certainly the same hunger. One of the like spending has always been a bad habit of mine. I'll give you if anyone that's watching, you have like a spending problem, because that was always my thing, just the impulsivity. That was also why I was a heavy drinker, was just the impulsivity. Actually, this has been really helpful for me. I made a Google form called Brandon's Wish List, and there was just 4 fields. It was like, what do you want now? That was required. How much does it cost? That was required. And then there were 2 more fields, like why do you want it, and a link if you have it. I found that if I was ever like window shopping or ever just got the urge, simply just chucking it into my wish list felt like I kind of scratched that itch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been super helpful, because obviously and I'm trying to say this as non-egotistically as I can, like as you get more, you know, money and resources, like I nearly fucking spent 12 grand on a billboard as a joke yesterday.
Yeah.
Because do you know the bonfire billboard?
Yeah, you wanted
on Hay Street? Yeah, I was gonna get that, but I was like, 3 grand a week for 4 weeks for a joke. And then I have fortunately enough self-awareness to know what a purchase is just an ego purchase. And I was just like, no. I was like, that's retarded. Don't do that. I just talked myself out of it. But I think that the things I certainly waste a lot of money on fucking alcohol and going out and stuff like that. But Conrad actually helped with this. Actually, the last time we spoke was like setting a new baseline of like, what's the new, like your bank account, total account balance, like just doesn't go below this line, and then just like resetting it, getting to that, going, okay, it just doesn't go below this, and then you reset it again. Otherwise, you'll just keep repeating the same behaviors and the same patterns and things like that. Does that answer that question? Yeah. Yeah,
somewhat. I think, again, it's like that thing, like if your ceiling is I'm broke, you're broke. And if your ceiling is like, no, I can, like, I have the mentality of I can afford anything responsibly. I have the bank account of I can't afford everything. But also, if it's a business expense, and you're playing a 100-year game, what's too expensive mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like, I'm doing this shit forever. This will pay for itself. And if it makes the process or if it makes the action, the repeatable easier, then it's worth it.
Yeah, there's things that I'm I'm happy to be pretty trigger happy with, like coaching programs are one for sure. Like anything where I'm actually like, okay, well, unless I get a nasty bump on the head, like as soon as they teach me this, I know this forever now. And whenever I've spent or invested in coaches and education, there's never been a single time where I haven't been at least directionally accurate afterwards. Like I've never done a sales training program and got worse at sales.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? And like I was saying earlier before, like wherever your attention, your energy, and money is essentially just a form of energy, wherever that goes, you're just going to be, you know, more focused on that.
Yeah. What's bit of a sidestep here? Because you and Joseph look like slightly familiar from a past life of mine in partying.
Nightclubs?
Yeah. Are you involved in basement or anything at all?
I did the ads for Flip Promotions.
Right.
For a bit. I don't think it was during basement. It was afterwards when they were doing the Attic and some of their other events they were doing.
Yeah, and that Wednesday was that not Attic?
Attic was Wednesday. I DJ'd Next Gen though at Metropolis Fremantle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what's so where's Inhibit fit into this?
So Inhibit, we do their ads as well. They actually sublease that room just over there.
Right.
Yeah.
See, obviously you're like, you and Joseph were top to bottom in it yesterday, and I was like, is Joseph Inhibit or is like
no? So Joseph sits there. He does their ads.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Are you allowed to talk about cool brands that you do ads for?
Yeah. There's only one. There's only one person I've ever worked with that made me sign an NDA. Oh, there's one other. I didn't sign an NDA, but he got me to agree not to do it. I think I told you who it was yesterday, though.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. But he just asked me not to tell anyone.
Are you still in that position?
No. That was back in 2018. Yeah. We're doing Inhibits ads. We used to do like Higher Grounds ads. We did Oktoberfest in the Gardens ads. But the thing we keep Inhibit because I like Jeff a lot. But events are very like.
Oh, is that Jeff? Do you know Jack Manoni?
I know that name.
Yeah, I think if that's is Jeff like in his 40s?
Jeff Shrapnel is the guy that owns Inhibit. I don't think he's in his 40s, is he? Late 30s? Mid 30s?
Oh, no, I might be thinking of another Jeff.
Yeah. But yeah, we do his ads as well. It's also because he subleases things to be awkward for like, hey bro, you cancelled. But yeah, the problem with events is like they're so labor intensive to do the ads because like there's always a deadline coming up. The promoter's always behind on sending like it's wild. Promoters, nightclub promoters and festival promoters are the only fucking business model where there's a legitimate deadline to when the doors open, and they are the worst at time management. You're all terrible. You too, Jeff. You're all terrible at time management.
Yeah.
Like we just like doing service-based businesses now. But even that being said, we don't even take on done for you clients anymore.
Yeah.
We just do with you. Like we're going all in on this. Like it used to be that our done for you department, it's just cleverly called for you, was like 80% of our revenue. Now it's like, I don't know, like 5% of our revenue.
Yeah.
95% of it's with you on Copilot.
Dude, you're like, so Jake signed me up a month ago. I've been on like half a dozen advisory calls, like built everything before I got here. And I actually had the intention of like, if I can do it, I want to get my ads up and like, I want to watch previous things and almost get it up and running. Just time constraints. I couldn't make it work. I got to a point where I was like, I actually also need to run my business.
Yeah.
You know? So the fucking amount of resources that are there, and also being able to go back and watch everything that we've seen yesterday and today is like so powerful.
Yeah, because we just know like it's actually becoming an issue where like there's so much resources that the actual bottleneck for us is sorting all of it so they know everything they have access to.
Yeah.
Like fuck all, like barely anyone in the room knew about AI Brandon yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we've got to like make that more obvious. So actually like the first thing I do this morning on day 2 is like, hey, so a lot of you just don't even realize how much support you get. So I go, when you have this question, you go here. When you have this question, you go here. So that's the first thing I do this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I'm actually real keen to fucking...
Today's going to be dead, so I'm just going to give you a heads up.
Yeah. That's cool.
I do actually have to get ready for it.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
This was a great podcast. This was a great question.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, dude.